Congressman Jim Banks joins me now. As we mentioned, Speaker Pelosi vetoed his nomination to the January 6th committee last year. Congressman Banks, good to have you with us today.
Good to be with you.
Thank you very much for being here. So, you think back to the Watergate hearings. I think it's probably the most similar example because it was on all day long, and then they reprogrammed some of it at night to make sure that everybody could see it. And yet you had both sides choose the members that sat on that committee. I think there were 3 Republicans and 4 Democrats on that committee. So why were you vetoed, and how did they get away with doing something where they chose all the people who were up there?
It's never happened before. 232 years of congressional history. We've never had a committee like this one that is entirely and completely partisan. And that's why the American people have already dismissed it. They're tuning out. They're going to flip the channel tonight on primetime TV to channels that aren't showing it because they don't trust it to begin with. It's all theater. It's a circus. It's a political witch hunt. And they know it because only one side is represented. That's not the way that our process, the institution of the Congress, is supposed to work. It's shameful.
So what do you think are the lessons learned from January 6th? Because that's a significant question here. What did we learn? What can we do to make sure it never happens again?
Well, first and foremost, the Capitol was not secure that day. There was a systemic breakdown of security and leadership within Capitol security, the top levels of the Capitol Police.
Why was that?
When Pelosi kicked me and Jim Jordan off the committee and said we weren't allowed to serve on it, we still went to work, and we've conducted dozens of interviews ourselves with Capitol Police officers, other related to Capitol security, and we found serious issues related to how intelligence was gathered, disseminated. The head of the Capitol Police Union told me, he said that they weren't prepared for what happened on January 6th because rank and file police officers were never received the intelligence that was gathered that said something weeks before January 6th is something bad could happen that day. They weren't equipped for it. They had faulty or outdated equipment. Some of them didn't even have riot shields or helmets on. The rioters had better equipment than they did.
What information should they have had that was already out there in order to have them be prepared? Because remember, several of the people who died that day were members of the Capitol Police or Metropolitan Police. They died from heart attacks. They died from strokes. Overwhelmed.
They should have been prepared for it. There was intelligence that wasn't shared. So there was a breakdown of security. And at the end of the day,
that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, Pelosi had the information. Who had the information and who didn't pass it along specifically?
Yeah, I can tell you that it was within the bureaucracy of the Capitol Police. There were issues. There were problems. Now, and here's the big point. The big point is this isn't what you're going to hear about on TV, on live TV. You haven't heard about these serious issues or these questions raised at all by this sham January 6th committee because they're not interested in that. It changes the narrative away from the political witch hunt going after Donald Trump and their narrative to try to abolish the Electoral College, prevent Donald Trump's name from ever being on the ballot again, to go after and intimidate Donald Trump's former staffers. That's what it's all about. It's not about the serious issues that would go a long way to securing our Capitol and preventing something like this from ever happening again.
But is it true that both sides had information that should have been shared? Or
well, within what I'm talking about and what our report, because we will come out in a matter of weeks with a report, an ad hoc effort, will show that there were serious issues within how the Capitol Police gathered intelligence, how they disseminated it, and really get to the heart of what the head of the Capitol Police Union told us. They weren't prepared for what happened that day.
We look forward to hearing more specifics on that. And I know you're going to meet with Vice President Pence, who used to have your job at as the chair of the Republican Study Committee. That's coming up on June 21st. So I hope you'll join us again with more on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jim Banks, good to have you with us.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.